What, the black thing?
I saw it on yours.
Yeah, the screen was full. The image is full width on their machines.
Oh.
It's not on mine, but I have a high
On
resolution
our
screen.
machines, we didn't get that black there.
Oh,
But on his, he did get
might be
that.
the resolution of this TV is the one that.
Right, and my laptop has insanely high resolution, so that's why I'm guessing it's that.
All right, so this is good. You guys, because the start mouse is here. And what it controls it?
All right.
Okay.
Cool beans. Hi, everybody. We are Team Slytherin. We are Allie, Dante, and me, Matt. We made an app that is for a hookah lounge for reserving tables. It's a kiosk-based reservation. It's not a calendar or anything, but it takes the place of having to go to a hostess or whatever. You can reserve a table if there's one open. If there's not, it puts you on the wait list. And once a table is cleared by a manager, they can pull the next person on the wait list onto that table as well. This is the customer front end of our page. I am actually going to show you the manager one first. And we didn't link to it because it's a manager page we wouldn't want customers from the front end linking to, and didn't come up with a login method to do it separately. Right now we have 3 tables. This is just proof of concept. We're talking about having maybe 8 or 10. But for pushing, pulling, testing the wait list, we didn't want to have a whole bunch of tables to deal with. You can see for each table, they're just named 1, 2, and 3, who is sitting at the table, what is their email address, what is their phone number, and what's the flavor they chose, because you can choose flavors for the table. I'm going to go back to the front screen and show you what that looks like. If he feels fancy, he does. All right, so if you come to the front page and you want to make a reservation, you click this button that says Make a Reservation. You get to choose from any of the flavors we have stored. Let's say this person wants double apple mint, and we'll just put somebody in here. Seems appropriate. Yeah, let's just give him a bogus. It doesn't really test that, so we'll just do that. All right. So because if you notice on the manager page, all 3 tables were reserved, he gets an alert that he's on the wait list. Now, if we return to the manager page, you will see that our tables are taken. I want to clear this table. Calvin Klein has left. So we'll hit clear. And now you can see down here, table 2 is now available. And I'm going to reserve from the wait list. And Cheech has now been placed at table 2. Let's say Smokey gets done. Did I click that? There we go.
Why did the phone number say like I forget man? And you put in 555.
Guess. All right, I'm going to put somebody else from the wait list on the table here.
That's awesome.
I actually had Cheech in earlier, that's why. All right, let's say, we had 2 Cheeches. Let's get rid of one. Now we got an open table again. And, we didn't have anybody left on the wait list. The wait list is now empty. It detects that and lets you know. All right, aside from managing the tables, we also put in functionality that, let's say we got a new flavor. You can click this flavors button. There's actually, I don't know how to scroll on this thing, but there's like 50-something flavors down there. Like this. Hey, I can use a Mac. Sweet. All right. All right, let's see, we want to add another flavor. And I'm going to add it. Screen refreshes, and now I have to scroll a lot because we are a really complete hookah lounge. Ooh, I can kind of use a Mac. Nope. Is that the problem? What am I doing? What am I doing? Scroll! I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. I'll just use the mouse. All right, and you can see that we've added Death by Chocolate at the bottom there.
So sweet.
Yeah, and let's say we were wrong. We don't have that. We can delete the flavor. Screen refreshes, and you can see Death by Chocolate is no longer on there.
Those are really good flavors.
All right, and let's go back to the home screen. And we also have a function here that says see our cocktails. And this will show you some cocktails that we have available for you. These are actually randomized. It's an API that goes out to a cocktail app and grabs 3 of them. Am I missing any of the built-in functionality? Talk about the nice-to-haves now? All right. So this cocktail thing, it's really cool, but the original plan was to have a couple of extra things, let you see your reservation, and then show you cocktails that paired with the hookah flavor you chose. Now, the pairings were going to be a lie. It was going to be 3 random cocktails, but we were going to give you ideas and make you think that they were specific to your chosen flavor. One other thing that we'd like to have is on the manager page to show the wait list in addition to the table, so you can actually see who's on the wait list. The rendering of that would probably have been relatively easy, but we were trying it last, and we were having async issues getting 2 different objects put together to pass into the handlebars was the only reason we weren't able to get to that. An actual scheduler would be a nice to have, but that was way beyond the scope of what we were doing. And since there was 3 of us, we decided not to mess with letting you log in. We don't have that part of it, but that'd be a nice to have some point down the road as well. I think that's it for functionality. As far as building this thing worked, Allie did almost all the front end stuff. If you want handlebars to work right, it's really simple. Just be on a team with Allie. That'll do it. she is the handlebar whisperer. She just whipped that stuff out. Dante set up a connection to the database, set up the database tables, set up the ORM. We didn't use SQLize. We used a customized ORM for everything and just tweaked it as we needed going forwards. I did a lot of the on-click logic with the jQuery, the routing, and then the writing to the DOM. But in all honesty, we collaborate a lot on all of that stuff. Like, each of us did those things, but all 3 of us touched all of those things as well. It was pretty organic, actually. Do you want to talk about what you did with the handlebars or any of the other stuff?
I mean, I actually needed to ask Danielle on the first day that we were working. I needed to clarify that you don't have to use partials when you're using handlebar, because I thought that if there was an index.handlebars page, and then if you wanted a different page, you had to just insert a different block onto that same page, just like how you insert everything onto the main handlebars. But then Danielle reminded me that you can just link to another handlebars page, so that made it easier.
That being said, she actually used partials very effectively in a couple of places.
Thanks. Yeah, there was a reservation block handlebars that's when you added a reservation that would be inserted onto the page, and then there was also a flavor block handlebars for adding a new flavor.
Cool. You wanna...
So I did mainly database stuff, and I played with the Cocktail DB, which is the API we used for the cocktails. Originally, we did want to do it to where they'd pick a flavor, then we generate the 3 random cocktails, suggesting that these would go well with your hookah. We ended up kind of going in a different direction, which is totally fine, because the make a reservation page that we were going to suggest the cocktails on, we ended up getting rid of that just because most people don't go back and review their reservation. So for the future, I would like to get more cocktails on this page. Also, I had a lot of issues using Axios at first, so I ended up just kind of making the API call the old-fashioned way through just normal JavaScript, and I made a whole new file just for the API call. The database was, I think we changed that about 5 or 6 different times just to get it to work right. We also changed the models and the ORM a bunch of times as well, just because we're having problems getting the update function to work at first. So.
One interesting challenge I ran into was on the main make your reservation page. There's the pull down to choose the flavors from, and that pulls from the database. And I spent a little bit of time figuring out how to pull that data from the database and then parse that into the HTML on the screen. Wasn't terrible. I was like, all right, this works. Pretty proud of myself. Took a little bit of time. When I ran into trouble was when you actually click on reserve a table here, pulling back out what was selected turned out to be way trickier than I thought, and I spent way more time trying to figure that out than putting the choices there in the first place. And it only ends up being a couple lines of code, but knowing what to grab was kind of crazy because it was an object inside of an array, inside of an object, inside of an array. It was honestly a bitch to figure that one out. I think that's about it. Any questions?
So from the database perspective, you have a reserve table and using the flavors table.
We have 3
Yeah,
tables. There's a flavors table that stores all of those, and we add and delete with the manage flavors. There's a reservations table, which represents our hookah tables. Those tables are static. We never delete or add them. We are doing puts to update or null out the information about who's sitting at that table. And then the wait list is a separate table that just has everyone with a wait list with all their associated information. When the manager clicks on the pull from the wait list option, it grabs the first thing in the wait list and does a put to add that to the open table that was selected, and then deletes that item from the wait list so it's not there anymore. Anything else? All right, thanks.
All right. Just one last thing.